So when we use our firelight bulb in our sauna, that's where we get what we call red light therapy. When I looked into sauna, I was like, the research is amazing, and all that. But there was this really interesting story about the electric light bath, and that's what really got my eyes lit up. Literally this.
Brian Richards, thank you so much for coming on the Dr. Tina show today.
Thank you for having me.
You're my first guest officially on the new set, so thanks for being here.
It's a gorgeous setup. I love it.
Thank you. So you are the CEO, founder, and inventor of SaunaSpace, and I am a huge fan, and I'm so excited to have you here today. You were on the show once before virtually, and we're going to talk all about your awesome product and why it's so different and unique. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm pumped to be here.
Yeah. So tell me the story. How did this happen? It's pretty unique apparatus.
Yeah, it really started with my own health issues. And even before that, it starts with my parents, actually my mom, who was very natural minded, even though she's a physician. And she was prescribing supplements and vitamins in the 80s in Montana. And my dad is a now retired radiologist. So I grew up with both of those perspectives. And when I was at the end of my college career and I had some insomnia and acne and some other things related to adrenal fatigue, I decided to call my mom. I figured she's going to give me the best advice. And she's like, Brian, you're probably just toxic. You probably just need a detox. So you need to get a sauna to detox. So I was intrigued by that concept. And when I looked into sauna, I was like, the research is amazing, and all that. But there was this really interesting story about the electric light bath. And that's what really got my eyes lit up, literally this sauna that was powered with incandescent bulbs. So there's a whole story behind that. It dates back 130 years or more. And anyway, I found this concept out and I was like, I want to use that type of sauna, and I built my own. And I used it right before bed and I slept really well. So that was kind of the aha moment for me. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I ended up using it for 6 months, and all my acne, all my energy issues. I kind of had some brain fog too, and that cleared up too. But even with my healing experience, I was still doing rental real estate at the time. So I wasn't involved in health and wellness. I didn't really like business per se. I thought I was not going to be a business person. I guess I looked down at it out of ignorance, that it's too focused on money.
The man. You don't want to be turned into the man.
But yeah, I had this personal experience, and I actually did end up making it for a few people here and there, and you could invoice me on my mom's website by PayPal. It was really ghetto. And a few months into it, I had this amazing new sort of early adopter customer, this woman who had an onset of autoimmune disorders and lost her job and couldn't go out of her house, and her life was totally wrecked. And she said, Brian, after using your sauna for 3 or 4 months, I have my job back.
Wow.
And my life back.
Wow.
And all of my symptoms of my fibromyalgia and other type symptoms went away. And this, she was crying, and she made me tear up too. This made me cry. And I was like, whoa, what am I doing with these hammer and nail and stuff and drywall at this house? There's an opportunity here to empower people to be well, to heal, to help them understand that, we can heal anything within. So that was the start. Was I kind of dropped my tools and got a business loan and started SaunaSpace officially.
Amazing. So tell me about the bulbs. Originally, were they always the red incandescent bulbs, or did you start out with just regular incandescent bulbs?
The original bulbs that I used were what's called a traditional heat lamp.
Okay.
So it's a 250 watt reflector type bulb that has reflective material inside, and it's designed to produce more infrared than a regular incandescent bulb, and it's high wattage, and it's red. And that's what I started out with, and actually I wanted to improve on it. And I actually spent many, many years developing what is now the Firelight bulb, the bulb that we use, which is an improvement on the traditional heat lamp. So it has a special filament inside, it runs hotter, and that shifts the light spectrum to deliver more of the light therapy and more of the really deeply penetrating heat therapy wavelengths, what we call the optimal wavelengths, which is mostly near infrared. So it kind of shifted the spectrum, and then I wanted to make the bulb itself like nicer. So it's hard quartz glass. It's very carefully, specially made, the whole thing to last, many, many years of use. But ultimately, the therapy is the most interesting thing, that it gives more light therapy than a traditional heat lamp. That came out many, many years. That came out in 2018 or something.
Okay.
So for 4 or 5 years, I delivered the saunas that were more simple than what we offer now with the regular heat lamp. But it still works great. The whole concept is incandescent.
Right.
That's what the magic here. Yes, my Firelight bulb is like better, but it's all better because it's incandescent.
Yes. Yeah, we're being poisoned by LED. So I recently moved here and we got into the new house, and I've never owned a house before. This was like my first house, and I bought a beautiful house. And I get in there and we get in late. We drove for 3 days with the dogs, and we flip on all the lights and all the ceilings are LED. And I freaked out because I had never lived in a modern structure that didn't have the built-in cans that I could switch out.
That you could switch out.
And I'd never been in that situation where they were just those little pancake, whatever they do. And my husband, thank God, is an electrician. So like literally the first thing we did,
That's convenient.
I dropped everything because we had this whole laundry list of things we needed to do. And I was like, nothing is happening until I have all incandescents in here. And as you know, the Biden administration took them away from us. And so I like went on the hunt and I bought hundreds of dollars. Well, I should actually back up. When they became illegal with just regular incandescents, I bought thousands of dollars worth of incandescents. And it was the one box we had a trailer and then we had a pod, and everything I didn't care about as much was in the pod, and everything that was really important was in the trailer attached to the car. And so like my medical supplies, my important ones, my box of bulbs.
That's awesome.
So I had some bulbs, but yeah, like I cannot emphasize to people enough. And your sauna is such a unique experience. It's not just, I can turn it on, I can heat up the tent. It's beautiful, thick cotton, but I can heat that up in advance. I get in there and I don't know if you know this, but my audience says I have really chronic spinal pain. Like it's autoimmune and it's severe. And I just turn my back to that panel, turn them all on, and just cook the crap out of my spine. And it is so great. And the way that it's such a beautifully built, it's these beautiful poles. The wood is so smooth. The bench it's such a beautiful design. But the thing that I actually love is when I'm seated on the bench, I can actually reach up. I don't know if you ever advertise this or it's something that you emphasize, but I can reach up to the poles and I can actually do I have like a whole stretching routine that I can do in there.
Interesting.
So, and I'm just short enough that I can stand. I mean, I do definitely push up on the top of it a little bit, but I have this whole stretching routine and I use the apparatus of how it's built because it's so well built. And I don't know if a 200-pound person could do this, but I'm small enough that I can go through this whole thing and I can turn, whatever part of me I need to the light. And as the light penetrates, everything just releases. And it's completely different than any sauna experience. And I don't know if that's the difference between the near infrared or the far infrared that's in most saunas. Most saunas are far infrared, aren't they?
Most infrared saunas are far infrared. And
you need it's the light bulb that's giving us that near infrared, right? It's hard to mimic near infrared, as I understand.
Yeah, and there are ways to do so, like LEDs. There are near infrared LEDs, but they have their own disadvantages. It's like this digital fractionated light.
Yep.
It's not the same as incandescent. In nature, incandescence, it's this kind of almost anachronistic term, but incandescence is when heat creates light. And that's the way all of light in nature is created. So when we use our Firelight bulb in our sauna, you get the warmth that you want to get from the sauna, but you get, it's hot enough that you also get this light emission. that you can't quite see with your eyes, but your body sees and it feels. And that's where we get what we call red light therapy, photobiomodulation. It's all the same. The body, it's different like cellular mechanisms in the body, but we're designed to get both of those things together. So in our sauna, when you get the heat and the light together, it has this melting quality to your tissue, to your nervous system. It's really uniquely relaxing. We get a lot of that from our customers. And some people, like, they just don't like sauna because they perceive it to be stressful, or it's just like a little bit too intense for them, and they really come around when they use our sauna. That, yeah, wow, I can do this. I can handle this. This feels good when I get out. I don't feel worn out or stressed out when I'm done.
That's so true. People are really sensitive to heat, and different autoimmune conditions can be set off by heat. So the thing I like is that you can flip the switches. So I can turn down the intensity, and I bought the extra panel. So it's like full on.
Oh yeah, the super sauna.
I'm getting like super blasted, but I can change depending on what part of my body. And then I can also move the bench and sit on the floor. There's just a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of variability in there, and it's nice. It's nice to be able to get that.
Yeah, and if you're really heat sensitive, you can even leave the curtain open and limit your duration. Some people with autoimmune issues will often start very, very slowly at 5 or 10 minutes with the curtain open. We've even had customers who just have the glow, just a single light bulb, and they'll just use that on their gut for 3 to 6 months before they use the sauna.
Yep, you can build up. And then I've even seen on your website people putting it in the shower. Like, you've got a setup where...
Yeah, we do have a shower converter. Yeah, for people who don't have room for the sauna or have an extra shower, kind of, a full shower. It's basically, upgrading your full bath into a SaunaSpace sauna.
It's awesome.
It's pretty cool. It doesn't have quite all the elements of the sauna. It doesn't have the grounding mat and the opportunity for the silver lining upgrade, but it's for people who have that extra shower or a full bath they're not like using that much. And they don't have room for the regular sauna for whatever reason. It's an amazing solution.
Yeah.
For them.
So the glow light, the single units, I was telling you before we came on camera that I have bought like monitor stands that are on wheels, and then I hook the glow light to it, and I can have it at various levels. And because I was in Oregon and it was cold and horrible all winter. I shouldn't complain because I know people are under a lot of snow right now, but living in rain, I kid you not, I did not know what time of day it was sometimes. Like, there were times during the year when it's gray for such an extended period of time that you wake up and you're like, I don't know if it's morning or if it's afternoon. It's just gray. It's all the same color all day long. And you can't have any circadian rhythm with that. Like, all of a sudden your sleep gets disrupted and your hormones start getting off, and I start getting really hypothyroid and depressed, and my pain starts creeping up. And your sauna has, I kid you not, like, it saved my life. Once I bought it, it was just something where I could, like my husband was saying, we turn it on in the morning and like we would just go in. I'm like, just go in for 5 minutes. Just set your circadian rhythm. Just at least get something as much as we can, And I know it's artificial light, but it's still incandescent, and it's still giving us a lot of what we would get in nature, like you said, versus LEDs. And so that little gizmo was like in front of the couch. I would just roll it. All the dogs would gather with me and be like, who wants to fight over who gets to sit in front of the red light? So. Yeah,
it's such a lifesaver in the winter. We're designed to get a lot of near-infrared light each day. If you look at the sun, most of the wattage, like over 70% of the photons we absorb, are near-infrared. So that's like what we're missing in the winter. We're not getting enough sun, or we're just not outdoors anymore. So we're supposed to get that really early in the morning before we get any blue light at all. Or if we like at the sunrise. If we don't get that, it just really messes your hormonal like programming and everything else for the day. But if you take the glow or you take the sauna and you just have it for like a few minutes, just for 2 or 3 minutes, you'll mimic the sunrise. So if you're in those climes where it's just gray all the time, or especially now where it's so cold, maybe it's sunny, but you're like indoors.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's huge. Kid you not, the dog, we would leave it on. I mean, I don't know if I was supposed to do this, but I would leave it on all day, and the dogs would just rotate who was going to lay in front of it. So.
Yeah, that's what we do in my house. Basically leave it on all day. Certainly the glow when I'm working at the computer. Just every room where we're in. It's bringing in this natural spectrum we're designed to live with and operate with all the time indoors.
Tell me about being in front of a computer with it. So how do you use it? Do you have it just sort of adjacent, or do you have it on the floor? Do you put it on your desk?
Yeah, you can have it just anywhere that's like in the vicinity of where you're working, and it will cancel out the blue light and the flickering light from the screen.
Okay.
And also your overhead LEDs, but particularly the screen is what's powerful. So it doesn't have to point, interestingly, it doesn't have to point at you. It just kind of needs to, it can be on its back pointing up.
Okay.
Kind of like a spotlight. Or it can be on an arm. It mounts onto any VESA arm. So like you described that you did yourself, we also have a desk arm accessory that's finally going to come back out again this year. And if it's on the desk arm, it can kind of like tilt up. So if you pointed it at your face, after like half an hour or something, you'd want to tilt it away. Like you don't want to, if you're using it for targeted therapy on the head or the body, you're using it for a limited period of time. But for blue light cancellation and screen fatigue, you can just leave it on all day. So it's just not like directly pointing at you, but it's in your area, in your office area. So with the desk arm, it's clamped to the table, or it can be on the table, or it could be like behind you even, like pointing up. And
I should have brought my little one. We should have. I have that actually as my nightstand lights too, because I try to make the whole house red light at night. That's
the best night.
That's the rule. Yeah. I scream at my husband if he accidentally. I have tape on all of the LED switches that turn on the overheads, and I'm like, don't touch the ones with
the
the
little
tape.
smoke alarms. Yeah, totally. Us too.
Yeah. So
yeah, and it has a shielded power cord too, because you don't really want like an unshielded lamp cord ideally next to your bedside, wherever you're sleeping. So
oh, nice. Okay.
So yeah, everything is EMF shielded.
Okay.
In the whole panel and all the saunas.
Talk about that. I get that question a lot from my followers, is the different options for the covers. And I know that there's an EMF blocking and there's a grounding mat.
Yeah.
I don't understand
the panels are all EMF. They're all magnetically and electrically shielded. So SaunaSpace is not bringing any EMFs into the party. And all of the saunas come with the grounding mat standard. And so you get grounding therapy and earthing type therapy, as well as it protects you from the wired electric fields from the home for the most part. Not perfectly all of it, depending on how much electric field and the intensity in a particular home, but it does a pretty good job of that. And that's basic on all the saunas. It's the grounding mat, it's the bamboo grounding mat. You could also get this silver lining upgrade. So it's a 35% silver fabric that's mixed with organic cotton that we've developed, and it blocks out all the wireless signals.
From outside?
Yeah, so the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, anything like that. So cell phone signal primarily is the worst. So you don't want to bring anything that's transmitting inside the sauna. So if you want to listen to tunes or music, you just put your phone into full airplane mode.
Okay.
And you can listen to a Spotify track that's like downloaded. That's what I do.
Don't cruise the internet while you're
No, not if you're in the silver lining sauna, because you've created this beautiful, sacred, safe space that's EMF shielded. So that's an option that if you want to have the full wireless protection, that's an optional upgrade. You can get that when you get the sauna. You can always get it later and upgrade it.
I think I need to upgrade that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's really quiet to the senses in a way that, like when you used to be hiking, you couldn't get cell phone signal. Mm-hmm. That quietness that we get in the nervous system, it's hard to get that anywhere in a civilized place now. Mm-hmm. Any place in a city. Even when you go hiking now, you have cell phone signal everywhere. So this is blocking everything from coming in the sauna. And yeah, it's uniquely like relaxing and quiet to the senses. It definitely helps you, your response to the light and the heat therapy, I think, is magnified with it. We don't have any data on that, but that's just anecdotally. You can definitely tell.
Yeah. No, I think it's it's my little tomb, and my husband knows when I go in there. I used to have it in the front room at the other house, and he would start blasting the TV, and I cannot tell you the number of times that curtain would fly open. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm trying to relax. Why are you, what are you listening? He always watches tractor and engine rebuilding, so it's so noisy. But anyway, now I have it in my own little sanctuary space where it's just me, so it's lovely. But my dogs love it too. We were talking about that. You were saying your dogs go in it too. My dogs love it in there.
Yeah, well, they also have mitochondria, and they also like light and the sunlight, and they don't sweat. They pant, and they have different. They're definitely different, but they all benefit from the light. So so many of our customers are, especially people who have like service animals, they are literally using the saunaing with the service animal.
Yeah.
And cats love it, and just animals in general. They know what's best for them. It's we humans who have like forgotten, light, it's the most important nutrient, like biologically coherent light.
Yes.
Not LED light.
Yes. That was the part, is that you get the red light, but you're not getting hit with LEDs. And I've had the big giant panels of LED red light. And yes, I understand the utility of them, but I don't like being in front of them. Like, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel natural. And it kind of reminds me when I was a teenager, I had really terrible depression. I actually think now that I just was living in Oregon. I don't think I have terrible depression. I think I was just in Oregon. But my mom, I don't know if you remember the sad lights. Now we have the 10,000 lux small ones, but my mom sprung for this huge panel. And I remember sitting in front of it, just bawling my eyes out, depressed in the middle of winter at like 15, in front of this stupid giant
blue light.
Well, it was probably fluorescent at the time.
It used to be fluorescent blue light.
Yeah.
Now it's LED blue light.
Oh, it feels terrible, And so then I remember, flash forward 20 years, I'm sitting in front of this beautiful red light panel that a company had gifted me, and it's such a generous gift. And I'm sitting in front of it crying 20 years later, like, I don't want to be in front of artificial light. So I went into your sauna at a friend's house. I told you the story. I will not share it here because it was a little much. But I was having an episode, and I went in to her sauna, and I got it. Like, I'd been hearing throughout the internet. I'd seen you guys at different trade shows and, different, like A4M, or I don't know, maybe it was at a biohacking or something. And I never went in one. And I just thought, what's the deal with these tents, with the light bulbs? Like, and, I run it by my husband. For years, I wanted one, and I ran it by my husband, and he was like, I could build you that. You don't need, and I'm like, yeah, you could build me this, but this is beautiful. And it's already been very well mastered. So like, let's just get this one. And I finally went to my girlfriend's, and I was like, oh, I get it. I get this electric light bath because I'm a naturopath, And I think the last time we talked, you were talking on the podcast, and then you shared with me that your mom was an integrative doc. And I was like, oh, okay, he gets it. And you can tell when people have been raised around that, And anyway, we learned about the electric light bath in school, and that is exactly what it is. You go in and like everything lights up, and you feel your mitochondria turn on, and you get hot. It also gets hot fast, which I think is a huge perk because a lot of these saunas take a long time to heat up.
Yeah.
If they're outside, they take a really long time depending on where you are, and your unit heats up very fast, and you are hot and sweating within, like 5-10 minutes.
They take a long time to heat up, and then they take a long time to make you sweat.
Yes.
With ours, we're using near infrared light to heat the body from within, so you're getting heated immediately when you sit in front of it. So you don't need to preheat it, and you sweat fast. The super sauna, the 7-bulb system.
Is that what it's called?
We call it the super sauna. Yeah, that's only like 15 minutes. So that allows someone to use the sauna for 3 or 4 times a week. That's like 45 minutes to an hour is their whole weekly investment in terms of time, plus like rinsing off afterward. And that makes it accessible because it's about the discipline of frequent use that you get these reductions in all-cause mortality and reductions in dementia and just all these other benefits. It's from continuing to cleanse the body and recharging the mitochondria and the redox systems in the body. It's the more and more like it seems like we look into health and into wellness. It's more and more about like energy production and energy utilization, energy coming in. How are you utilizing it? And that's why when you sit in a sauna that has all this biologically coherent natural light, these photons that your body absorbs, it's like supercharging. It's not just helping you detox and stimulating red light therapy benefits. It's also like repolarizing your electrochemical potential voltages across your cell membranes, and it's basically powering up your battery.
Yeah, that's what it feels
you're
like.
charged up.
That's exactly, you go in and you're just like, because there's heat shock proteins and there's, the mitochondria boost and there's all these benefits. But the one thing I would always tell patients when they weren't feeling well and I couldn't get them, I treated a lot of pain. That was predominantly what I would treat. And folks would come in just all upside down, like whether they were having a lot of pain is autoimmune, it's systemic, and it's not coming from maybe their knees are lit up. But the minute you have bilateral joint pain, that's something systemic. You don't just have two knees with osteoarthritis. Like there's something going on there that's systemic, and two hips, two shoulders, what have you. And
Yeah.
I would tell them always, I'm like, you need to cook the shit out of yourself. Like we have to get you to a point where you can handle heat and you can handle it efficiently. That is step one. Like that is and it's not just detox and it's not just sweating. It's everything you just said. But I need you to figure out how to get hot. And I remember when COVID hit our shores, I made a post on Instagram about getting hot and people were like, oh, you're such an idiot. You can't cook COVID out of you. I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. But if we can get your core temperature up and we start to ignite all kinds of good systems into play, and you will become more resilient against any kind of, upper respiratory onslaught. But my whole point was going back to my patients of like, if we can get somebody heat tolerant, and I always tell my husband jokes because he's very cold tolerant and he's very heat tolerant, and I'm not as much, and women tend not to be as much. And it's really important that people hone that skill. Like being cold tolerant and heat tolerant is a huge sign of vitality. And without it, when someone says, I can't handle the cold, I can't handle the heat at all, I'm like, oh, this is a tougher case, So I think that hormetically, like hormesis for the audience listening is just like specific bouts of stress to get the organism to respond favorably. Your sauna does such a nice job of that because you're not sitting in there for a prolonged period of time waiting for it to heat up. You're not waiting for a prolonged period of time to get hot and to get sweating. Like it hits you. And there's times I know my vitality's low because I go in there and I'm like, oh, damn, I can't handle this right now. Like it's too super sauna. I got to turn some panels down. But it's a clear indication to me that my nervous system is on the fritz or that I need to, take better care of myself. So this heat tolerance idea and the ability to stoke it is, I think it's core to people having good health.
Yeah, and it's when you say heat tolerance, it's not just like the body can withstand heat physically. It's also there's an aspect of resilience of the nervous system and adaptability of the nervous system that also, when you continue to use sauna, you get that over time. Your immune system's stronger. Yes, your ability to tolerate heat improves. Like you can be outside and really hot, Phoenix in the summer, and you will not sweat quite as quickly, and your sweat will be more efficient, and your cooling systems, like everything works better. But also it's this idea of nervous system. I feel like one of the biggest problems we have nowadays is this nervous system dysregulation. The nervous system, the electrical system, let's call it. I don't really like the nervous system word that much, but the electrical system governs the rest of the body. And how can we help support people like relaxing and just being present? And very difficult, actually, for many of us because of this crazy world we live in. And the sauna, there's something about the light, even the glow. Like you can just sit there and put it in front of someone who doesn't know what it is and has never seen it before. And after a while, they'll be like, wait a second, I feel like centered. I feel grounded and I feel present. So the nervous system is responding in a way that we really need. We really need to be like in that relaxed nervous state all the time. And because we're not in that, all these other things that we try to do are not as effective. We're not as responsive.
Well, you can, especially like right now, everybody's on this peptide craze and the peptides and the hormones and all of the things. But you sound like a chiropractor, which I am also a chiropractor. And that's it. Like the nervous system governs everything. And I'll say that to my husband. I'm like, my nervous system is fritzing out. My electrical system is fritzing out. And when I try to explain things to him as an electrician, I have to explain that. Like the signal is not sending correctly.
I've got a lot of resistance, honey.
I'm fritzing out. So I get it. I had to leave Oregon because it was like a nervous system meltdown there for me. So my goal when I moved to the desert, I told my podcast producer, I was like, do not let anybody get to me. Like, I don't care who asked to be on the show. Do not let anyone get to me until Christmas is over because my nervous system is just shot to hell. So sunlight. And when I bought my house, I sent my realtor over at 7 a.m. I was like, where's the light on the backyard? Like what space will I be sunning in at 7 a.m, because that morning light,
So true.
it's so critical. That red light and near infrared light in the morning especially is so important. And so that was a critical piece to it too, is I turned down a beautiful house that I was looking at originally because it wasn't situated right and it wasn't getting any morning sunlight. And I was like, no, that's literally why I'm moving here. Like 100%. Your sauna is, the best I could do in Oregon. But if I was going to move to the desert and buy a beautiful house, I'm like, I need the backyard. The pool has to be getting, and then the evening light too. There's really important benefit to that.
Yeah, do you want this, like in your house, you want the southern exposure to be a lot of windows so that all day long you get light in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely, the houses, are not necessarily designed with light in mind. And that goes with, some are, but like orientation to sunlight and southern exposure. And also indoor with all the LED light everywhere that's like built in now that you can't even change. All of it. It's unfortunate because we humans are not designed to really live indoors. They're designed to just sleep indoors. And the rest of the time, traditionally, ancestrally, we're outside. But if we are going to be indoors, we need to be really thoughtful about what the lighting environment is. And there are some cool people who are really thinking about this stuff in architecture and design, but most places you go and most Airbnbs you stay at and hotels you stay at, they don't even have warm LED light. It's like really harsh, like this type of task lighting.
Yeah.
And it's just really aggravating to us as humans. And at the same time, people are like blissfully unaware of it.
They have no idea. It's crazy that where we live, everybody's inside all day. I live in a really nice neighborhood with a lot of well-to-do older folks, and we rarely see them out. And I'm thinking, you move to the desert. I mean, most of these people are transplants. You move to the desert for the sun, but you're inside all day, poisoning yourself under LEDs. People have no idea. We are poisoning ourselves with LEDs all day.
Yeah, we really are. Dr. Jeffries has done a lot of beautiful work, new work on this subject. But we've known this. The French OSHA said, do not use LEDs at home. They should only be used for industrial or like task lighting don't use them in the office and at the home. And that was published in like 2013.
Oh, wow.
Like way long time ago. And we knew that blue light particularly and the spiked spectral nature of LED blue light like shuts down your mitochondria, wrecks your hormones, wrecks your sleep, all this stuff. And it's not that blue light is inherently bad. It's when you get it from the sun, you get a little bit of blue light and a ton of near infrared and red. And it all balances itself out. And you get some benefit to the blue too, like some melatonin production. But now we know even that 95% of the body's melatonin is made in the cell by near infrared light. So it's all about the near infrared light. And the blue light is right next to ultraviolet light on the spectrum. It's very high energy light. It's generally pretty damaging to us. And we need to be careful with it. And so we're indoors with this LED light. We've known for a long time. And the powers that be have also known this for a long time. That's why when you go to the mall, the lights are really bright. And that's when you go to the casino, the lights are on all the time because they don't want you to go to sleep. If you're always getting blue light, it's very difficult. You never relax your nervous system.
Yeah, it's awful. I think about my daughter. Well, she's not a teenager anymore, but when she was a teenager, her and all her friends all night long would have their phones. They're sleeping next to their phones. They're up on their pads or their phones all night. And I'm like, what are you doing to your hormone? I went vegetarian when I was a teenager and destroyed my hormones. I can't even imagine what LED is doing to people, in those critical years and and think about all of the LED light these young kids are getting hit with. I bought everybody in my family one of your glow lamps. I literally was like, one Christmas, I was like, everyone's getting the red light and everybody turn off everything at night and just have this beautiful, put it upright, put it next to you.
They all need it. Like the incidence of corrective eyewear use it's like exceeding now 50% of the population.
Oh, wow.
With the youngest people. And there's actually some interesting research. We know that if you don't get enough sunlight exposure when you're young and your eyes are developing, your eyes keep growing. So there's some signal from the ultraviolet and the near infrared in the eye tissue that tells it to stop growing so it doesn't grow ovular and myopic. So the combination of not getting enough sunlight, and then, watching your iPad all the time is a little. I mean, it's an epidemic of health that is way beyond eye health, but also there too.
I think the pendulum's swinging though. I feel like the young people right now are like in revolt of all of the nonsense. Like I'm watching kids go back to flip phones. There's all these accounts on Instagram where they're decorating the room like the 80s and listening to all 80s synth music and, happy stuff. And I feel like since COVID, we've seen this. I have hope. I have hope for humanity. I feel like the young people their rebellion is like just going back to analog.
Yeah, they are. My wife and I were hanging out with Mark Groves.
Oh, yeah. I love Mark.
He's really big into the digital detox. And
I love him.
He was telling about there's this like phone that's called the light phone or the no phone. It's an e-ink phone.
Oh, okay.
And it's like very simple. It doesn't have regular apps. It has phone and messages, but it's not a smartphone in the sense of like an iPhone. And that people are getting old wired phones.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
landlines.
It's like cool.
I have a landline phone that I'm bringing back from Oregon when I go back there next time. And I told my husband, I'm like, we're putting in a phone line because I miss. Do you remember you probably didn't do this, but when I was a teenage girl, I'd go hide in the pantry when I was talking to boys on the phone, and like.
Yeah, you had the cord that was 30-foot long wired cord. Yeah.
Have your private conversations in the kitchen somewhere. My dad would answer. Think about this. My dad would answer the phone. So he's pre-screening, or my mom would. They would pre-screen whatever young man was calling me or whatever friend, right? And then my dad sometimes just wouldn't put people on if they weren't well spoken. He'd be like, if it was some guy mumbling on the phone, Tina there, he'd just hang up on him. So
yeah,
we've lost all that.
So beautiful.
These kids literally went, pads in school, computers in school, phones in front of their face all night. We wonder why kids are screwed up. We don't even have that one little thing where the parent is pre-screening the phone calls. Like kids are just picking up, talking to whomever, and then they're
they're already all connected, like on WhatsApp and
it's wild. I think
all the other chat apps.
I think we're going to see a swing back. I think it's going to be. I'm hoping for it. I want to see like old school Reeboks come back in and like cool 80s hairdos, and new wave.
Yeah, that reminds me of Stranger Things. I mean, it's totally like.
That's why it's such a huge hit. Mm-hmm. It's nostalgic. And it's analog.
We do need that, and but it's important for not just our kids. It's also for ourselves too. We need more of that simplicity of just, and not trying to like turn back the clock, 100%. Like in one, just take a little time to yourself. Take like even 15 seconds and like walk outside and just look at the sky. Those simple aspects of like escaping the insanity and like returning back to yourself. It's something that we all need to like remember.
Yeah.
That we have, and we have it. It's all around us all the time. We just forget. We get like slotted into what we're doing, and nervous system is like totally jacked in.
You're talking. I'm thinking of so many of my girlfriends and how middle age is brutal on women, and it's like you're good, and then one day you're not good. And I'm thinking about all my girlfriends, and they're inside all day. They're driving around to different sporting events for all their kids, their nervous systems. And at the same time, we're trying to deal with our hormones falling out from underneath us. I mean, this is why I hop in the sauna. That's like everybody leave me the fuck alone. Don't talk to me for 15. My mom used to go hide in the bathroom when she had to get away from all of us, but I hide in the sauna. And once I close that, I'm like, my dog is I told you my little dog, I got to tell everybody listening about. So my little Havanese that everybody knows, because I put him on Instagram, he comes in, he does this little game with me. He steals my socks because I strip down outside the sauna, and he comes in, he plays with the little sock and he runs around the curtain, and we have the best time. And so I think that like just taking 15 minutes, cook the shit out of yourself in some great incandescent light. It's therapeutic.
Yeah, it's one of the best things that you can do for yourself, like in that such a limited period of time. Like the amount of benefits and effects to your physiology, to your mood, to your mind, to your emotions.
Yeah.
It's so fast. And yeah, if you got a little puppy you can bring in with you, it's even better.
It's our game. He loves it. The minute I turn it on, he goes and hides in there. So you guys have a cotton mat I don't know if you're still distributing that, but you guys had sent me as a gift like a cotton.
Yeah, we have the Pure Layer cover. Yeah, the stool cover and the mat cover.
Yes. Okay, so you sent me one and as like a Christmas gift one year, your company did. And he goes in there and he hides all my socks. He steals my socks. He hides all my socks in there during the day. That's like his little sanctuary. And he takes all of his little stuffies and he messes up that whatever, because the mat's like the cotton is like several layers. And so he gets everything tucked in there. And I go into sauna and it's like a little nest. And he just looks at me like, are we doing it? And I turn the lights on and that's when he starts running. He gets super excited. So he knows.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. We also have a little puppy named Copper. And it's not every time, but sometimes I'll just be in there and I'll have started my sauna session like 1 or 2 minutes. And all of a sudden he'll barge in with his chewy toy and just sit down next to me and like be there for like 10, 12 minutes, like under where it's really hot in there for a dog. And it's really interesting how drawn they are, to it. Not just the light and but like being with you while you're healing, and relaxing. There's something.
Totally.
I think dogs are here on soul contracts to support us. Help us with our own.
You're making me tear up. I love my dogs. I don't know how people live without dogs. I'm like, how? How? I don't know how you can fully embody your humanness on this planet without a dog. Like, I think dogs were given to us by God as partners, like we evolved as human beings because we had dogs and the sun. I mean, it's like the sun, light, and our canine companions. So speaking of light, you're super tan. Did you last time I talked to you, you were in Missouri. Did you made the leap to the sun?
Yeah, the SaunaSpace is based in Missouri. Our workshop factory is there, our warehouse store, it's all there. So I love that place and I still visit a lot, but I recently moved with my wife Mila to Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Oh, nice.
And my boys live there too. And honestly, my whole life, I grew up in Montana.
Okay.
So, and I was born in San Diego, have a lot of family in San Diego. So always growing up for Thanksgiving, we would visit, the in-laws or the relatives in San Diego and the beach. And there's something amazing about the beach. So as I grew up in Montana, I was like, one day I'm going to figure out a way I can just live at the beach.
Yeah.
And then I grew up and I spent several years in Israel. I actually live in Tel Aviv and they have the most amazing beach there. And I was like, I love this. I love the warm weather. I love the beach. So we were looking and we manifested right before our wedding, actually. We were just go look at some houses, in the area. And we found this amazing place that's like on the canal and it's just 2 blocks from the beach. And
amazing.
There's a lot of trees. We just planted 2 avocado trees and a key lime tree, which interestingly, citrus is not from Florida.
Really?
It's all from Asia. It's not native.
Oh.
So Florida oranges are not native to Florida. Just all these interesting.
That's
they
interesting.
do have all the very interesting flora and fauna, that's native. But yeah, I never would have imagined that I would be where I am now. But now that I'm close to the beach, there's something magical about not just sunlight and warm weather, but actually being on the beach early. So our ancestors knew this. They would watch the sunrise, and you can actually stare straight into the sun right when it rises. And there's this whole thing with sun gazing, and conventional people will be like, no, you're going to kill yourself. You're going to hurt your eyes. But you can actually stress your eyes out, and they will be able to withstand more and more sun gazing. It's called. Like people can work up to like 45 minutes in the morning where they're gazing, like non-blinking almost. So anyway, the impact on my daily rhythm of doing an early morning walk with Copper to the beach, even if it's quick, but if it's not quick, we'll go there and I'll do like 15 minutes of breath work. And the best thing is to 15 minutes of breath work with Copper and
with Copper
and the sunrise.
Yeah.
And just watch the sunrise and just having that rhythm is just so healing and like centering, and there's so much that it does to me on so many levels. And I know electromagnetically, like inside, like the redox potential is really improved with the grounding that you get at the beach, especially, and the sun and the interaction of the sun. And then if you can combine the ocean with that,
Yeah.
there's something like magically electromagnetically polarizing to those combination of those three things. So I didn't used to be this tan all the time, but I will now forever be this tan all the time.
I love it.
And yeah, just it's like you moved down here too. You know, everybody has a choice. They get to be where they want to be. Florida's wonderful. It's like the new Atlantis. It's just warm. We call it, when it gets cold there, we call it Florida cold.
It's crazy how cold you like here. It can get super cold, but it's still sunny. And that's everything to me. You know, you're getting a lot of negative ions when the water's moving. So any body of moving water is blasting you with negative ions, which is so therapeutic for you.
Yeah,
and it's the opposite of modern life.
Just the whole combination. Yeah, the negative ions, the magnesium salt.
Yeah.
So the ocean's salt.
Yeah.
It's all so cleansing. You know, just to go out there and float. Even now when it's cold, what's wonderful about it, in contrast to San Diego, no offense to the California folks, but the water's way warmer.
Yeah.
So even in the winter, you can like jump in there for a little bit, even if it's cool and it's a little sunny. And yeah, it's just the most magical healing thing ever. So the days where I don't go out there, not only is Copper complaining, definitely, but like I can feel, you know, it's a little different. I still use my sauna a lot for sure, but I don't quite use it like 7 days a week, you know, 1 or 2 times a day like I was in Missouri because of the sun. And, you know, it makes sense. There's nothing better than the sun.
Yeah, nothing. I use my sauna less as well, but not, I mean, it was keeping me alive. I was telling you before we came on, I went for a 2-week vacation to Hawaii several years ago for my birthday, and I came home and I immediately called your company and was like, send it immediately. Which one's in stock? I don't care. Because I knew after the 2 weeks in the sun, I couldn't. It was all of these health issues that I have had throughout the years and all of these complaints, and I'm chasing them around with supplements and I'm chasing them around with peptides, and I have the best of regenerative medicine at my disposal, and exosome. I mean, I've been dealing with exosomes and all the fancy stuff for a lot longer than you all have even known about them. And nothing beats the sun. And I finally, just a year before we moved here, I told my whole family, I said, I'm not going to be here next year. Just prepare. Because my mom and my dad are there, my daughter's there, everybody's there. And I told my husband and my mother-in-law and everyone, I was like, I will not be here next year.
They're all in Oregon?
Yeah. But I'm closing on a house tomorrow. I bought them a house. I bought my parents a house.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I did. I like dream of my life. So I got my parents a house. My daughter's going to move in there and stay with them, and I'm getting my whole family here. So
yeah, that's what I've been telling. That's what I've been telling some of the relatives that are still in Missouri. Come on down, and they're considering it.
Yeah, Missouri's hard. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's hard. Like that is a hard winter.
They have tough winters, and
I'm from Missouri originally. I was born there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Columbia, Missouri, and yeah, the decade that I lived there were some tough times where it will rain and then freeze and then snow, and so you have this weird combination and a little more gray. I grew up in Montana where it's very cold in the winter, but it's always sunny.
Yeah.
There's like almost never clouds. There's never, very, very rare there's a cloudy day. So I didn't understand what a gray winter was, but yeah, they unfortunately, it's not all that, you know, it's been recently warm there, and I was just visiting there recently. It was quite warm during the week, but yeah, the sun is so important, so powerful, and it's the sun and the grounding and the water are these things that, you know, there's this idea of terrain theory.
Yeah.
That our bodies are really divinely designed. If the terrain is not functioning the way it's designed to be, no amount of like supplements, food will dig you out of the hole. But if the terrain is really high voltage, it's really electrified and clean, you can withstand so much stress. And it's like, okay, no big deal.
Yep. That's my husband. He's outside all day, every day, because he's a farmer. And so here we have to find things for him to do outside. Because if he doesn't come in filthy and dirty and worn out, he's like a little kid. If he doesn't come in like that, he's difficult to deal with. So you saw him, he's a little gruff. But yeah, his terrain, when I met him, I was like, is it weird that I want to lick you? And he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's not sexual. It's like a microbiome thing.
You're
Like,
so well mineralized.
he's just he's just got that outside thing, and he's so healthy. And I recently he was like, should I do a parasite cleanse? And I was like, no, we're not messing with the terrain. You're good. Your immune system is golden. I rely on his immune system. Like, when you're around people who are sick all the time, non-communicable diseases are communicable. People don't realize this. If you're around people with heart disease or diabetes, your risk of developing that is significantly higher. And that's not to shame anybody. It's just when we're around really healthy people, like, hang out with your healthy friends, that you will get healthier, and people
there's an influence there that's not just physical,
Yeah.
Whether it's limbic regulation or it's even
like a heart field.
Heart field, electromagnetic. It's definitely, you are with whom you surround yourself.
So that terrain it matters. And I think that it's not just, the other thing about light too is a lot of people are spending a ton of time in the gym, but these gyms are just LED, fluorescent, neon. Like, neon's the big thing now in all the gyms, and they don't have good windows, and you're being blasted with LED at night. Most people are going at night. And I'm just like, this is why I literally have figured out how to exercise inside the SaunaSpace. I just move the bench out, and there's a variety of things I can do. And like, I'd rather just cook myself for 15 minutes and, stretch and mobilize. And
yeah, our relationship to light is more important than our relationship to food.
Yes.
Or anything else. And yeah, so you just look at your life and pay attention. What kind of blue LED light am I seeing after the sun sets?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's at the gym or it's at home or whatever, it's you'll find there's quite a bit. And then you can start to minimize those things. You can use filters on your screens, and you can wear blue blockers sometimes for watching TV after dark. And then in the morning too, the first thing you get when you wake up, it shouldn't be the LED light in the bathroom that you flick on or you're looking at your phone. That's why the glow is amazing. Just like 1 minute, it will program your body, oh, this is the sunrise. And then you can kind of have blue light, and it's not nearly so stressful on the body. But also in the morning, if you get blue light first, it really just wrecks all your body's systems for the rest of the day. And it's something we're just kind of zombie unconsciously, like, going through our day, working, getting the average American gets like 7 minutes of sunlight a day. And it's slowly damaging us. That and the EMF issue, those two things and they're tricky because, like, they're not so visceral and tangible. And if you get used to it, an environment of high EMF and an environment of lots of blue light, you become like callous. You become desensitized to it. But it's definitely disrupting you in so many ways, sleep, everything else. So just something to be mindful of and notice, like, when you do get good sun and you get a lot of sun and you don't get a lot of blue light after dark, you can, whether you're tracking your sleep with something or not, you can tell, like, your body feels better, you wake up rested, you're just more resilient to all things.
Well, when patients complain of sleep, my first question is, how much sunlight are you getting? I mean, that's like, to me, and they go, what's that got to do with it? I'm like, everything. That is why you're not, I mean, yes, hormones and there's other players, but yes, if that's why in Oregon, I was saying the SaunaSpace, jumping in that first thing in the morning was sometimes the only way to set that rhythm, because it was so gray out. And you lose your sleep, you lose everything. So you have to have the light. The light is the key.
Yeah, and my problem was I insomnia in the very beginning. I actually used the sauna right before bed.
I know you told me that, which everyone says don't go in bright light before bed, but I've done the same, and I sleep like a log.
There's no blue.
Yeah.
It's just red and near infrared.
Yep.
So
I do it at night.
Some people might say it's like too much lux, but if you have sleep problems, definitely if you use the SaunaSpace sauna right before bed, you will sleep really well. The research indicates that using sauna any time of the day will improve your sleep.
Yep, 100%. I love it. Well, where can folks find you? And I know we have a special offer for them if they use the code Dr. Tina Show, a discount on the sauna. So where can everybody find you and more information?
Yeah, that code is 15% off for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's on sauna.space. Our website is sauna.space.
Okay, I will make sure it's in the show notes. I always tell my audience to at least consider the glow light, like start off, start there and build up. And eventually, if they can get the bigger sauna, just a plug, it fits anywhere. It's really small. It's easy to move around. That's the thing we love about it. Other saunas, which I do love, I do have a walk-in box sauna, the traditional wood kind, but those are dark. And if there is light, it's the LED. So when I am needing that light, it's a whole different feeling of like, I need to go blast myself with light and heat. The SaunaSpace is, you can't beat it. And it looks great in a room. Like it's actually, people walk in and go, what is this? It's beautiful, So I want to encourage folks to check it out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming. It was so fun to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Talk about like foreshadowing, talk about visioning. That girl was wearing colors and light colors and had long silver hair. So I started growing my hair out. Like talk about intention, right? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grow my hair out. The Tina you met in 2020 had short hair because she had just chopped it all off so she could let her silver grow out. So many of you men and women, but women in particular, we are having hair loss in middle age and it's awful. And I will tell you, a lot of the women that you see that are middle aged that have big followings, they're using